إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أما بعد. طيب يا إخوة, we start دروس المهم of Shaykh bin Baz. We have completed some of the tafsir or tafasir of some of the short surahs, alhamdulillah, last week. Today we'll go to Dars al-Thani, the second lesson of the book, which is Arkan al-Islam, the pillar of al-Islam. طيب, first of all, Arkan. Arkan is plural of a rukun, pillar. Now, what is pillar? The ulama says pillar is ما يلزم من عدمه عدم ولا يلزم وجوده عدم, meaning that rukun is when it necessary that if it doesn't exist, then whatever above it doesn't exist, and if the pillar exists, whatever above that exists, it doesn't nullify it. So, for example, rukun is that when you have the rukun, the pillar, anything above the pillar will stand, will exist. So, for example, you have a table, for example, okay? It has two legs or pillars. As long as the pillar is there, that will remain. If we remove the pillar, that will not exist. Same thing for the tent. Tent has pillars, rukun, yeah, pillars. If the pillar is there, the tent will remain standing. If the tent pillars are removed, the tent will come down. Like the building as well. So rukun is something, as long as it exists, it will remain, it will keep whatever top of that will remain up. And if the pillar is removed, okay, the whatever top will come down. طيب? So that's the meaning of a rukun. ما يلزم من عدمه عدمه. Okay, that it necessary that if the rukun doesn't exist, everything will not exist, it will remove. So that's the pillar. And Arkan al-Islam. Al-Islam is the root word of the word aslama. Aslama yuslimu islaman. And if you look at the meaning of aslama, means to submit, to surrender. Okay, submission. So Islam literally means surrendering, submitting your will to the command of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that's the linguistic meaning. Shara'an, we mentioned this definition so many times, that Islam, the definition of Islam Islamically means that وَإِسْتِسْلَامُ لِلَّهِ بِالتَّوْحِيدِ وَإِنْقِيَادُ لَهُ بِالطَّاعَةِ وَبَرَاءَةُ مِنَ الشِّرْكِ وَأَهْلِهِ. Okay? That Islam means Islamu lillahi bi-tawheed, to submit to Allah with tawheed. What does it mean, tawheed? To worship Allah with ikhlas, for sake of Allah, for the pleasure of Allah, without having riya. Okay? Fulfilling your ta'at, obedience to Allah, for the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal. Istislamu lillah. Okay? Bit-tawheed. This tawheed means you don't have riya, no showing off, with ikhlas, and to obey Him, fulfilling, doing all the action for the sake of Allah, and to be free from shirk and the people of the shirk. طيب, that's the definition of al-Islam. What it means is that we have to submit to Allah. That's what Islam is. When we say we're Muslim, that's what it means. We submit to Allah. We follow His command and prohibitions. We apply that in our life. So, pillar of Islam are 5. Okay, the Arkan Islam khamsa, and the hadith of Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, that he said, سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول بني الإسلام على 5 شهادة لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة وصوم رمضان وحج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا. The hadith is there in Sahih Bukhari Muslim, that Ibn Umar said, I heard Messenger of Allah said that Islam is built on 5 pillars. Okay. And the first is Shahada La ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammad Rasulullah. That's the first one. To establish the prayer, to give zakat, to fast month of Ramadan, and go to Hajj, whoever is able to go to Hajj. There's another narration, it says Hajj, then it says Siyam. طيب. There's a hadith mentioned by Marwazi, Muhammad Nasr al-Marwazi, that he says that بني الإسلام على خمسة دعائم, yeah. Islam is built on 5 pillars. And the word da'a'im means pillars. Okay? It means pillars. So that's what we're talking about. Okay? A rukun. وهو يلزم مع وجوده ويلزم عدمه. Another way of defining is that it necessitates if it exists, everything else exists. And it necessitates that if it doesn't exist, the pillar, everything will not exist. That's the rukun, pillar. So here what we learn from this is that Prophet ﷺ mentioned that these five things we have mentioned, they are pillar of Islam. They are pillar of Islam. Now, if these pillars are removed, your Islam is removed, meaning that you are out of fold of Islam. So what is the ruling of the one who does not fulfill the 5 pillars of Islam? Now, Imam al-Humaydi said in his Usul Sunnah, to the end of the book, he talks about the 5 pillars of Islam. And he says that the 3, Shahada la ilaha illallah wa Muhammad sallallahu wa iqam as-salah wa samu Ramadan, these 3, there's no doubt of the one who leaves taking hold of Islam. He said there's no doubt in that, because these are the 3 pillars that you cannot delay. You can't delay your Shahada la ilaha illallah. You have to become Muslim straight away. There's no delay. Oh, I believe in it, but I'm not going to become Muslim next week. You don't delay. Your Salah, you don't delay. Fasting comes the first month of Ramadan. You don't delay. And once you delay these things, you can't do qada. So if someone didn't pray knowingly for the last 10 years, there's no qada for it. There's no qada. Siyam, if you leave, there's no qada for it. Okay? You can't make it up. You have to do straight away. There's no delay in these 3 pillars of Islam. And then he says Hajj and Zakat, they're conditions. Okay? But when it comes to takfir, the first one, obviously, there's no doubt about it. As for Salah, the scholars have differed regarding the one who doesn't pray, is a Muslim or a kafir. Okay, there's evidence that he's Muslim, and the scholars have mentioned some of the hadith, like one of the hadith that whoever prays 5 times a day, and then he has preserved the 5 daily prayers, then he has evidence with Allah, and he has success with Allah Azza wa Jalla Yawmul Qiyamah. And the one who doesn't pray, then he has no evidence, no success. Yawmul Qiyamah, Allah can punish him or He can forgive him. So that shows that there is a sign, dalil in this hadith, that if Allah can forgive him, then he's still a Muslim. Okay? We have other hadith that Allah Azza wa Jal will forgive an individual who never done no good deed. And we have a hadith Qudsi that Allah Azza wa Jal will say Yawm al-Qiyamah to the Malaika to take people out from the hellfire, they never done no good deed. There are other hadiths there. So to say the person doesn't pray, he's still a believer, as long as he doesn't leave out, he leaves out of laziness. But obviously if someone said, Salah is no wajib on me, then he's kafir. But if he leaves out of laziness, meaning that he believes wajib on him, but I'm lazy, I should be praying, but I'm not praying, then scholars said he's still a Muslim. Some says if he prays on and off, still Muslim, but if he doesn't pray at all, then he's not a Muslim. The Shaykh al-Islam upon the opinion. But scholars have differed on this issue. Like Siyam, if someone doesn't pray, scholars say he's not a Muslim. Hajj, if someone doesn't pray, make Hajj, and he's able to make Hajj, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْغَنِيُّ عَنِ الْعَالَمِينَ. This is the ayah about Hajj. It's upon a person to go make Hajj for Allah. Okay? Whoever is able to make Hajj, istita'a. This istita'a means 2 things. He has money and is physically able to go. If he has those 2 conditions, then he needs to make Hajj once in his life. And if he doesn't make Hajj, then it's kufr. The ulama says kufr amaliya. Ibn Abbas says, Mujahid said, it's kufr amaliya. If he doesn't make Hajj, believing it's not wajib on him, then it's kafir. Okay? He denies it. That it's not wajib on me. Even if he's got the money and he physically can go. I'm not going to go because I don't believe it's wajib. He's kafir. He's not a Muslim. Hassan al-Basri said, even if he believes that, wajib on him, and he doesn't go, he dies, and he dies as a kafir. طيب? So, there's two opinions here now. If he denied the obligatory, he's kafir. Ibn Abbas. But Hassan al-Basri said, no, even if he doesn't deny that, if it's effect in the going, believing is wajib, in the going, if he dies as a kafir. So some of but the authentic opinion is that he is still a believer. He's still a believer, but he's committing major sin. He's committing major sin. Zakat, Ibn Mas'ud says, if someone is eligible to pay zakat and is not paying it, knowingly, I don't want to pay, then according to Ibn Mas'ud, is not a believer. But there's a hadith which says that a person doesn't pay zakat, eventually be punished and he will see himself in Jannah later on. So there's a forgiveness. Shaykh mentioned that. So there is a sign of forgiveness for that person. But again, if you have like money to pay the money, you don't pay the money, zakat every year, you're eligible to pay zakat, then the person living knowingly, then committing major sin. With there's specific adab for a person doesn't pay zakat. So ala kulli hal, so these are the khilaf between the scholars regarding that. Obviously salah is also khilaf, and the scholars who say salah, take out, if you don't pray, take out the fold of Islam. They use other hadiths like the difference between al-farq bayn al-rajul wal-kufr wa shirk, tarku salah. The difference between man, shirk and kufr, living of the salah. And also hadith said that the one who dies not establishing the prayer, okay, will be raised yawm al-qiyamah with Fir'aun, Haman, Qarun, Ibn Abi Khalaf. These are big kuffar. And the one who doesn't establish the salah, he'll be raised with those people yawm al-qiyamah. Okay? Also in the hadith says, umudul Islam, salah. The pillar of Islam is salah. Meaning that if you don't pray, umud is pillar, will come off. Islam will come off. So that indicates that a person is not a believer. So ala kulli hal, these are the 5 arkanul Islam. Okay, so there's a hadith, Bunyal Islam ala khamsa da'aim. Islam is built on 5 pillars. And this is by Muhammad Nasr al-Marwadi, who is a student of Imam Ahmad. طيب. So, الدرس الثاني أركان الإسلام. Okay, بيان أركان الإسلام 5, clarifying, explaining the Islam built on 5 pillars. أولها أعظمها شهادة لا إله إلا الله وأن محمد رسول الله. Okay, the first and the most important testification of La ilaha illallah and the Muhammad is messenger of Allah. Now the La ilaha illallah, my brothers, is the kalimatul tawheed, and shahada la ilaha illallah, the definition, the translation is this. In English we don't say La, there is no God but Allah. That's the wrong translation is given, because it doesn't nullify false deities. The best way to say is that the best translation, inshallah, La ilaha illallah mean, in Arabic we say La ma'buda bihaqqin illallah. None had the right to be worshipped in truth except Allah. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْحَقِّ. That Allah is the haqq. He is the truth. So La ilaha illallah is kalimatul haqq, and this is a word that has 2 pillars, isbat wa nafi. Now these 2 pillars are important pillars of La ilaha illallah, and if one of them is missing, a person cannot be a believer. So first pillar of La ilaha illallah is isbat, affirming, or nafi. Nafi is La ilaha nafi, nafi'an jami'an yu'badu min dunillah, negating everything worshipped beside Allah Azza wa Jal. You have to negate, not to believe them. So anything worshipped beside Allah, you negate that. Al-ithbat musbitan an al-ibadata lillahi wahdahu la sharika lah. Ithbat, affirmation, is that you affirm that all the worship is for Allah Azza wa Jalla alone without any partners. That's ithbat. So these are 2 important pillars. Now, one of the best ayah to explain this is Surah Al-Baqarah. فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِالطَّاغُوتِ وَيُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ. Okay? فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِالطَّاغُوتِ, whoever disbelieves in Taghut. What is Taghut, my brothers? Is anything that is worshipped other than Allah is Taghut. Whoever disbelieves in Allah, or disbelieves in Taghut, وَيُؤْمِن بِاللَّهِ, and believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. That's إِلَّا اللَّهِ. فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِطَاغُوتٍ لَا إِلَهَ وَيُؤْمِن بِاللَّهِ إِلَّا اللَّهِ فَقَدْ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْعُرْوَةِ الْأُثْقَى. Then he has hold a strong rope, grab. He has hold a strong rope which will never leave him. Okay, so this ayah, Shaykh Muhammad Aman al-Jami said, this is the best ayah for La ilaha illallah, to disbelieve in Taghut and to believe in Allah Azza wa Jal. And we have many ayah regarding La ilaha illallah. You know, like Allah said, وَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِشَيْءٍ. Worship Allah alone, do not associate anything with Him. That ayah consists of La ilaha illallah. وَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِي شَيْئًا لَا إِلَهَ. You're denying the false deities. وَعْبُدُ اللَّهِ, you affirming Allah alone. طيب. So there are many ayat like this that indicates of La ilaha illallah. Now the La ilaha illallah is the kalimat tawheed, and obviously that's the da'wah of the Anbiya. And there's a hadith which said that أفضل الذكر لا إله إلا الله. The best dhikr is لا إله إلا الله. So if you just make dhikr, أذكر لا إله إلا الله, with iman and belief, alhamdulillah, it'll be good. Also another hadith, Prophet said that خير الدعاء دعاء يوم العرفة. The best dua is dua for يوم العرفة. وخير ما قلت والأنبياء قبلي. The best thing I've said and the Prophet who came before me is that لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. That's the dua of يوم العرفة. And this is لا إله إلا الله, شهادة لا إله إلا الله. And this is the best dua يوم العرفة you can make. طيب. Now, لا إله إلا الله, no doubt, is kalimat tawheed. And one of the Imam Munabbih bin Wahab bin Munabbih, he mentioned, Ibn Hajar mentioned Fathul Bari, and people came to him and says that لا إله إلا الله ومفتاح الجنة. قال نعم لكن لكل مفتاح أسنان من أتى به يدخل الجنة. So he said that people said to him that the key of Jannah, لا إله إلا الله, is the key of Jannah. Okay, مفتاح الجنة, key of Jannah. Then he said, Wahab bin Munabbih said, yes, every key has teeth. If you fulfill the teeth, then you will enter Jannah. So the teeth is a'mal salihat. Basically, the action. These are the actions that if you perform it, you'll enter Jannah. So without the teeth, the door will not open. So if you say La ilaha illallah, but if you don't fulfill the La ilaha illallah, if you don't give the haqq of La ilaha illallah, if you don't have actions of La ilaha illallah, how the door is going to open? If you say La ilaha illallah by committing shirk, you have shirk in your belief, how is there going to be key to Jannah? So he says every key has a teeth. If the teeth is there, then you will enter, then the door will open for you. So the key of La ilaha illallah, the teeth of the La ilaha illallah is the a'mal and the belief that we have. And Hassan al-Basri was asked, من قال لا إله إلا الله دخل الجنة. قال نعم إذا أتى إذا أعطى حقه وأدى فرائض. He said that yes, Hassan, it's in this book. Hassan al-Basri said that someone said La ilaha illallah enter Jannah. He said yes, but as long as he fulfill the La ilaha illallah, he gives the rights of it and do the fara'id, then he will enter Jannah, obviously. But if he says La ilaha illallah but doesn't fulfill, doesn't do what he needs to do, then how is he going to enter Jannah? So La ilaha illallah is not just merely statement of the tongue, it is action. We have to act upon it and fulfill what it requires of La ilaha illallah. So we're talking about Arkanul Islam. So here, my brothers, La ilaha illallah has many hadith, and many ayat, and also وَأَنَّ Muhammad Rasulullah, that Muhammad is Messenger of Allah. Again, same principle applies, is that you say Muhammad Rasulullah, Shahada anna Muhammad Rasulullah, but you don't fulfill the criterion of that testification. So what does it mean when you say Muhammad Rasulullah? You believe it, it's not enough. Then if you do things contrary to Sunnah Prophet, then you're not fulfilling it. You're not performing what you're supposed to do. You say Shahada Muhammad Rasulullah, but you're doing bid'ah. You don't worship according to Sunnah of the Prophet. You don't follow his command. then how are you fulfilling the testification of Muhammad Rasulullah? What does Muhammad Rasulullah mean? There's two definitions. One is لا متبوع بحق إلا رسول صلى الله عليه وسلم. No one deserves to be followed in truth except Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم. Okay? As for لا إله إلا الله, we say لا معبود. But here لا متبوع. Okay? That's one of the definitions. That's the latest one. If you know what I mean. The oldest one is that we've learned is that طاعة فيما أمر, تصديق فيما أخبر, واجتناب ما نهى والزجر, ولا يعبد إلا بما شرع. Okay? طاعة فيما أمر. That follow him, follow Prophet whatever he commands us to do. And there's an ayah and hadith about this. وَمَا آتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. Whatever Prophet commanded you to do, you do it. Whatever he forbade, leave it. And the hadith, مَا نَحَيْتُكُمْ عَنْهُ فَاجْتَنِبُوهُ وَمَا أَمَرْتُ بِفَأْتُوا مِنْهُ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Whatever I forbade, leave. Whatever command you do as much as you can. So here, طاعة فيما أمر, تصديق فيما أخبر. Tasdeeq. Whatever he mentions to us in the Quran and the hadith, from the akhbar, from the news, we have to believe it. Like, for example, life of the Prophet, Sirah, sign of the last hour, into the hadith about the Yawm al-Qiyamah, Jannah wa Nar, resurrection, Adhab al-Qabr, punishment of the grave, and things like that, and the Na'im and the blessing as well. These are the akhbar the new Prophet told us. We have to believe it. تصديق فيما أخبر واجتناب ما نهى والزجر, and abandoning whatever he forbade, and whatever he forbade we have to abandon it. Okay? ولا يعبد إلا بما شرع, and no one should worship Allah except what he legislated. So this is the definition of Shahada Muhammad Rasulullah. Okay? So if you don't fulfill these pillars, then we're not really abiding by our testification, Shahada Muhammad Rasulullah. طيب. Now, we're not going to move on anymore. We're going to continue to stay on the shurut on La ilaha illallah. Now, we explained the virtue of La ilaha illallah and the pillars and all that. The next thing I want to talk about is that La ilaha illallah, so here Ibn Baz says, Shahada la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammad Rasulullah بشرح معانيها. So basically, he should understand the meaning of La ilaha illallah. He should explain it properly. He should understand مع بيان شروط لا إله إلا الله ومعنى لا إله نافيا جميع من يعبد من دون الله إلا الله مثبتا عبادة الله وحده لا شريك له. I've explained that the two pillars of La ilaha illallah, nafi and isbat, negation and affirmation. We've covered that. Okay, so Shaykh bin Baz saying is that you should learn these things, the explanation of it and the meaning of it, and also you should learn the conditions of La ilaha illallah. Okay, there are conditions of La ilaha illallah that we need to understand. Okay, so here, as for shurut, what is shurut? The shurut is like rukun. ما يلزم وجوده ما يلزم مع وجوده ويلزم عدمه. That it is necessary that if he exists, okay, the other one will exist. Or you can say ما يلزم مع وجوده المشروط ويلزم عدمه. So basically, it's necessary that if that exists, the other one will exist, and if that doesn't exist, the other one will not exist. So for example, tahara. If you have tahara, your salah will exist. Okay? So tahara is a condition of salah. So let's take it this way. Okay. Tahara is the shart min shurut is salah, is the condition of the salah. If the shart is there, the mashrut is there. The mashrut is the salah, and the tahara is shart, condition. So for salah to be valid, to be accepted, then you need the wudu. Okay, so that's what it means. يَلْزِمُ مَعَ وُجُودِهِ, the shart, condition, وُجُودُهُ. Wujud what? The salah will exist. وَيَلْزِمُ مَعَ عَدْمِهِ عَدْمُهُ. And it's necessary that if that shart doesn't exist, the mashrut will not exist. Okay, will not exist. It will disappear. So if you pray without wudu, which is, you have another condition, then you don't have the salah. Okay, that's what it is. The shart is, what's the difference between shart and the rukun, or shurut and arkan? The shurut is before the salah. Before you enter it, you have to have the shurut of salah. What are the shurut? The common one is that you have to baligh, you have to be Muslim, okay? You have to reach the puberty, you have to be Muslim, you have to be, you have to have, you have to be aqil, okay? You have to have intellect, okay? You have to have intellect. These are common shurut for everything, hajj as well. But the specific shurut for the salah, condition for salah, is that you have to have tahara. You have to have impurity, your clothes, your body and the place, okay? You have to face the qibla, okay? You have to cover the aura, okay? You have to cover your aura. These are some of the conditions of salah. And so when we stand for salah, we have to have these conditions ready. So when we stand for salah, we face the qibla, our place is clean, our body is clean, our clothes is clean, okay? We have wudu. So we fulfill these conditions before we start the salah. And the arkan of salah is when we stand in the salah, like takbiratul ihram, okay, reading Fatiha, going to ruku, staying in ruku, tuma'nina, you relax in ruku, you raise from the ruku, going to sajda. These are arkanus salah. There are many, about eight of them. طيب. So these are arkanus salah in the salah. Shurut is before the salah. Okay, that's the difference. But the definition, they have to exist. If the rukun is not there in your salah, then salah is invalid. طيب. For the salah to be valid, you have to have the rukun, the pillars. You can't abandon the pillars. You can abandon the sunnah, okay, no problem, mustahab, but the arkanus salah, which is the skeleton of the salah, the pillars has to be there. If they are missing in your salah, then your salah will be invalid. So if you leave any pillar of a salah, okay, then knowingly, then your salah is invalid. Like wajib, if you leave knowingly, your salah is invalid. So for example, takbiratul ihram is a pillar of salah. If you leave that knowingly, unknowingly, your salah is invalid. Okay? Takbiratul ihram, you have to say it. If you forget to say your salah is invalid, you have to pay again. Now, for example, Surah Al-Fatiha, okay? Allahu Akbar. And you forgot to read Surah Fatiha, you let's say Ikhlas or something. And you went to ruku', okay? What do you do now? If you remember, you have to come back and read Fatiha. But what happened is that you remembered, say for example, second rak'ah, when you after first rak'ah, on the second rak'ah, you remembered, oh no, I didn't read Surah Fatiha in the first rak'ah. So what happened is that the first rak'ah is nullified, your second rak'ah becomes the first rak'ah, and you continue to do that as normal you're going to do. And when you make tashahhud, okay, you do tashahhud, you give salam, to sajda, and then salam. Sujud sahwu basically. So that's any pillars. If you forget, okay, then we have to. If you remember the pillar in the next position, then basically that rak'ah is gone. Again, same thing for ruku'. Say ruku', you forgot to do ruku'. It's strange, but someone forgot to do ruku'. And then he went to sajda, I remembered I haven't done ruku'. You need to come back and do the ruku'. Go to ruku'. Do sujud sahwu. But what happened is that he went to sajda, he came back to the second rak'ah, and he realized I haven't done ruku', or he realized on the ruku', I haven't done ruku' in the first rak'ah. So the first rak'ah nullifies, second rak'ah becomes the first rak'ah, and you do sujud sahwu. Okay? That's the way it works. If you leave the pillars. If you leave wajibat, you don't have to come back and do it. Okay? For example, you went to ruku, and what do you say in ruku? Subhana Rabbil Azim, yeah? You forgot to say that. Okay? When you want to sajda, you continue your prayer. When you do, end of the salah, do tashahud, do sujud sahwu. Because Subhana Rabbil Azim and Subhana Rabbil A'la, wajibat. You have to say this. And if you leave knowingly, your salah is invalid. طيب? So these are the arkanus salah. You have to. We can't miss. We can miss it. We can make mistake. But if someone leaves knowingly, then salah is invalid, because only your salah will be valid if you have the ruku arkanus salah. Let's go, move on now, inshallah. That's the difference between shurut and the arkan. Now, when it comes to shurutul la ilaha illallah, there are 7 shurut. Some says 8, and I'll mention the 8 inshallah. So Hafiz al-Hakimi said, he said, al-ilmu wal-yaqinu wal-qubulu wal-inqiyad fadri ma aqul wal-sidqu wal-ikhlasu wal-mahabbatu waffaqaka Allah lima ahabba. So he put that in the definition, he put that 7 conditions of la ilaha illallah in a poem. Sullamul Usul is a book, it's on Aqidah, it's a poem. So he said, Hafiz al-Hakimi, who is the teacher of Ahmad al-Najmi. طيب, he said, knowledge, yaqeen, conviction, certainty, qabul, acceptance, inqiyad, obedience, know what I'm saying, truthful, sincerity, ikhlas, mahabba, love. May Allah give tawfiq for them to implement this whom He loves. Okay? Now these are the conditions of La ilaha illallah. Now my brothers, someone might say to you, Akhi, these 7 conditions, you people of, Sunnah, Salafi, how did you come up with this? Where in the Hadith said, Prophet said, there's a condition of La ilaha illallah are 7. Where does he say? What do we say? We say, you're right. Prophet didn't say condition of La ilaha illallah 7 or 8, whatever. But these are the conditions scholars have derived from the Quran and Sunnah. And we're going to give the evidences. Okay? They derive from the Quran and Sunnah with tadabbur, istiqra, with the contemplation of the Quran and Sunnah and the research and the reading. They came up with that the condition of La ilaha are 7. Okay, like shurut al-salah, Prophet didn't say condition of salah are 8, 9, 10. No, scholars had to come through the research, study, and they say, okay, these are condition of salah, and these are pillar of salah. Prophet didn't say directly, these are pillar of salah, but it came from Quran and Sunnah. But scholars agreed with that, and they said these are the condition of salah, the condition of Hajj. Okay, from the Quran and Sunnah, these are all established in the Quran and Sunnah. Okay, the shurutul wudu, the shurutul umrah, condition of umrah, they all, you have it, it's there. So the first shart min shurut la ilaha illallah is al-ilm. So the first thing, the most important one actually is al-ilm, knowledge. Knowledge is one of the conditions of everything actually. Without knowledge you can't worship Allah Azza wa Jalla. So knowledge is condition of la ilaha illallah. And knowledge is opposite of jahl, ignorance. And we know the importance of knowledge. Without knowledge, how are you going to worship Allah? Without knowledge, how are you going to make wudu? Without knowledge, how are you going to pray? Without knowledge of sujud sahwu, want to make sujud sahwu, how are you going to make sujud sahwu? If you don't know what you, like I gave you example, if you forgot to read Surah Fatiha, first rakah, second rakah, you realize, what do you do now? You break your salah? No, you don't break your salah. So we need knowledge for these things. So knowledge is very, very important part of our deen. Allah expects us to learn. Allah expects us to learn and worship Him. Allah didn't say just worship me the way you want to worship me. La. He said, I've sent a messenger, I've sent Quran and Sunnah, I want you to study and then worship me. Don't just worship me with knowledge. So Allah commands us in the Quran. Okay? Allah said, فَعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ فَعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. No. None has the right to be worshipped except Allah. What does fa'alam here mean? Learn. Learn about it. Seek knowledge about it. What's the first thing? La ilaha illallah. Now, how are we going to know La ilaha illallah, negation, affirmation, without knowledge? How are you going to worship Allah without knowledge? How are you going to love Allah without knowledge? Many things. How a person, look, if you don't have knowledge of Allah, many consequences happen. Many mafsada takes place. One of them, common one, is that you become despair. One of the disease of the heart is that you become despair of mercy of Allah. And don't be surprised. The people say things like, oh, I have done so much bad deed. I must have done so much sins. Will Allah forgive me? A'udhu billah. All the sin that you've committed, that's the worst sin you've committed. If you think about it. This part of our aqidah in Allah is that we believe Allah is a forgiver. Part of our aqidah is that we don't become despair of mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal. So despair of mercy in your heart is a disease of the heart. But how do you remove that? It's the knowledge. Imam Sa'di mentioned in the Qawaid al-Arba, Qawaid al-Fiqh. The knowledge removes all this. The disease. Without knowledge you can't. So Allah commands us, فَعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لِذَنْبِكَ. So learn about La ilaha illallah and then make istighfar to Allah. But the ulama says, learn about Allah, then make istighfar. So you know who to make istighfar to. طيب? So knowledge, then the action comes. Knowledge and action comes. So knowledge has many virtues, my brothers. And first important part of condition of La ilaha illallah is al-ilm. And they call kufr al-i'rad. Kufr al-i'rad is the one who abandoned to learn about Islam knowingly. He doesn't want to learn. I'm not going to learn. When he's able to learn, this is kufr of rejection. You are rejecting to learn about Allah Azza wa Jal, which you are created for, and you are not learning it. طيب, kufr al-a'rad. طيب, that's the first condition of La ilaha illallah. And the definition is they give is that هو إدراك جازم إدراكا هو إدراك الجازم هو ما عليه, to comprehend something in its true reality. Okay, knowledge is to comprehend something in its true reality. That's what knowledge is about. So when you do something with knowledge, that's the reality, isn't it? So, for example, like wudu. If you make wudu according to Sunnah of the Prophet, according to the Hadith, that's the true reality. But if someone makes wudu, because I heard my Imam said it like that, that's not the true reality. You're blindfolding somebody. So, someone with knowledge, someone without knowledge, okay, two different things, two different persons. طيب, so al-ilmu, the knowledge, munafil jahl, which negates the ignorance, which is opposite of ignorance. And so they take it from the Hadith, from the Quran and the Hadith also. Man mata hu ya'lam annahu la ilaha illa dakhal jannah. That whoever dies and he knows that none has the right to worship into the except Allah will enter Jannah. But ya'lam here, that means you know about la ilaha illallah, you know the affirmation and negation, and you implemented la ilaha illallah. You have knowledge and you practiced it. Then obviously you will enter Jannah. Yeah. So see, these are evidences that they came with to say these are the conditions of la ilaha illallah. Is al-ilm. الثاني اليقين منافي للشك والريب. Yaqeen is the conviction. Yaqeen, the ulama says, هو اعتقاد الجازم لا يتطرق على المعتقد. That basically yaqeen is a true conviction or belief that the believer don't have any doubt after this. Like المعتقد الشك, that he doesn't have a doubt after that. Okay, so yaqeen is the opposite of doubt. And when you have yaqeen, you don't have a doubt in anything. So yaqeen, we have or something ilmul jazim, having true knowledge of something that, and then you have no doubt about it. You don't have no doubt at all. So yaqeen are three types. Yaqeen, ilmul yaqeen, ainul yaqeen, haqqul yaqeen. Ilmul yaqeen, knowledge-based certainty through study. Ainul yaqeen is when you see with the eyes, and haqqul yaqeen, they say, when you enter the Jannah, when you see it enter Jannah. That's haqqul yaqeen. So yaqeen are three types. Now, in the Quran, Surah Hujurat, Allah said, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ ثُمَّ لَمْ يَرْتَابُوا. Indeed, the believers are those who believe in Allah and His Messenger, and then they have no doubt. So that shows, here we have ayah, talks about yaqeen. ثُمَّ لَمْ يَرْتَابُوا. They have no doubt. And yaqeen has to be a condition of La ilaha illallah. Because if you can't have doubt in La ilaha illallah, never. Okay. Also we have a hadith that من لقيت من وراء هذا الحائط يشهد أن لا إله إلا الله مستيقنا بها قلبه بشره بالجنة. That this hadith is talking about the Prophet ﷺ was with a companion behind a wall. The wall was behind that. He said, whoever you have met seen behind this wall today, okay, and they testify La ilaha illallah with yaqeen, certainty from their heart, surely they are people of Jannah. So mustayqinan, yaqeen. Again, yaqeen is the condition of La ilaha illallah. We'll have to go today, and I've mentioned on the WhatsApp anyway, so I'm going to conclude the class here today. The rest of the conditions of La ilaha illallah we'll finish next week, inshallah, and move on to the next chapter, inshallah. So, is there any question you want to ask me, Ikhwa? Go on, Akhi.
Would you say the best solution to doubts and waswas would be to gain knowledge?
Yeah.
Waswas as well.
Huh?
Things like waswasa as well.
Waswasa. Knowledge gives the conviction, yaqeen. Like Imam Sa'di said, al-ilmu yuzilu anka shak wa daran. It's a qaida. Knowledge removes from you doubt and temptation. So temptation obviously is not same as the doubt, but doubt comes because maybe you don't have certain knowledge of the deen. For example, doubting Allah, will you forgive me? Like, I've done so much sins. You become despair. The reason you become in despair because you have no knowledge of Allah. If you study the Aqidah, you will never believe like that. You will know Allah forgives. There's no Allah forgives, that there's no reason for me to display the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So knowledge removes doubt and temptation. And this is the biggest medicine, I would say. Knowledge. Without knowledge, we are lost. Knowledge is the key to remove that disease of the heart. Yeah.
Someone has a little doubt in prayer. Like it's very little.
Doubt
I mean, like if you made sujood once or twice, like it's a little doubt. Does it do sujood?
Doubt in what?
Like if you made sujood once or twice.
Oh, doubting how many sujood is made.
So at the end, does he still do sujood as well? Because maybe he might be wrong or right.
No, if you done sujood, if you doubt the sujood how many he has made, then do sujood sahwa, and yeah. Al-yaqeen la yadullu bi-shak. Yaqeen, conviction, is removed by the doubt. So basically, if you know you've made two sajda and then you're doubting it, then you bid on yaqeen, I've made two sajda. That's it. Yeah.
Is it known historically, like who were the first group of ulama to come with the 7 conditions of La ilaha illallah?
Which ulama? Especially Allahu a'lam, I don't know. It's a good question, that is. We'll find out here, inshallah.
What was the different types of sujood asal? Because there's so many different ways you do it.
No. The sujood sahu, one of the things that, according to hadith, is that you do tashahud once. Tashahud, you do once. One different thing is that after tashahud, do salam first or sajda first. Now when you have, if you decrease anything, you add anything, you salam first and do sajda. Come back and salam again. Okay? And this is in the hadith as well. And if you have doubt, Prophet says that if you have a doubt, okay, if you 2 or 3 you prayed, or 3 or 4, take one down, okay, raka'ah, okay, and then you finish the salah, you do 2 sajda, come back and do salam. But you do tashahud first. Tashahud, then 2 sajda, come back and do 2 salam.
You don't have to do 1 salam. Can you just do this?
No. For doubt, if you're doubting it, then you do sajda first, then salam. But if you add or decrease anything in your salah, you do salam first on the right and do 2 sajda and then come and...
No, I mean, you know that at the start the salam on the right. Is
You just salam on the right chair.
But if we don't do that, then
You still valid. Bimbas is valid, but you should do according to sunnah. Sunnah is like this. If you add anything, decrease anything, you can hear me, yeah? Yeah. If you add or decrease anything, you do salam first, after tashahud, then do two sajda, come back, and then do salam for both sides. That's if you add or decrease. If you have a doubt, sometimes you can have a doubt. How many rakah have I prayed? 2 or 3 or 4? So say you doubted, I prayed 3 or 4. I don't know, it might be 3 or 4. So what you do, you say I prayed 3, pray 1 more rak'ah, okay? You do tashahud, and then you do 2 sajda, come back, and then do 2 salam. That's it, if you doubt. But, if someone were to do salam first, and 2 sajda, and then do salam, still valid, because the point is you've done the sajda. The sajda is the core of all that. What is sajda sahu? Is that a slave does 2 sajda to compensate the mistake that he has made in the salah. You've done that. Okay, you've done, that's the important thing. But never do 2 tashahud. That's the big, that never comes in the hadith. Only one time you do tashahud. Go on, Aziz.
What was the second meaning of the shahada? The second meaning of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I think you mentioned something. The first one.
Oh, the definition of shahada Muhammad Rasulullah.
Yeah.
I gave 2 definitions. One is لا متبوع بحق إلا رسول الله. Yeah. That's what one of them. You got the other one?
No, that's the first one I have.
Okay, the second one, طاعة فيما أمر, تصديق فيما أخبر, واجتناب ما نهى والزجر, ولا يعبد إلا بما شرع. That's the common one but both are good, mashallah. Both are good. Any more? Okay, خلاص. جزاكم الله خير.